Hello, Prim friends. We are back at Seville Antiques, and it is being recorded the day before our open house, Christmas open house, officially starts. This shop has been here in existence for now it's over 24 years, always having this wonderful early style, primitive style of antiques. And if you've seen the last video that I did here at Seville, you probably will notice quite a difference as the dealers have all brought in more items and really decked out the shop for Christmas. If you are new to our channel, welcome. My name is Gabriella. I am so glad you're here. If you have been watching for a while and maybe even the beginning, welcome back. One of the things that I thought maybe I would talk about here in this video, and I hope you'll comment down below, what was the first thing that you started collecting? Doesn't mean it had to be antiques or primitives, but what was the first thing that you caught on being a collector? Maybe it was Beanie Babies, maybe it was baseball cards. I know for myself personally, it was pink American Sweetheart depression glass. So right now we are in Seville Antiques owner's booth. This is Gina Hooven's booth. Gina does not ship for the most part, but we'll go around through and check out the whole booth. But I want to talk about something I know a lot of viewers now, not necessarily on our channel, but on several channels, are really excited about the estate sales. Estate sales and garage sales. And what I wanted to point out was a lot of those viewers, I hope, are here on this channel now watching this video, is not to pass these wonderful pieces up. I know that vintage is very hot. Mid-century modern is very hot. But there really does seem to be a true resurgence. I'm seeing it in the crowd sizes at the various antique shows. And I'm seeing it in the items that are being bought and sold. That these early painted, well-loved American primitive pieces are getting very hot in the market again. Now maybe that is due to the fact that we're getting close to our 250th anniversary, the birthday of our country. That's possible. Oh, I'm seeing a piece back here. Yes, I know, if you've been here a while, you know how much I love tiger maple. This definitely looks to have some tigering in that wood. Yes, tiger maple shave. Nice little cubby piece right there. But I am very curious about what was the first thing that you started collecting. And I would love to hear in the comments. And then on top of that, I want to know, are you coming to Seville Antiques or any of the big shows that are going on this upcoming weekend with Simple Goods and Earlier Times? And maybe if not this time, have you been here in the past? Because we have people that come and have come here from both coasts. On occasion, we have had people from both coasts on the same day, which is a super exciting occurrence. I am going to have a little register book in my booth. This time, I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I would love for people to put down where they are visiting from. It's always exciting to see how far people come to visit Seville Antiques. So I have been here for hours and hours. Worked on my booth for 6 hours last night, a little over 6 hours. I'm tired. My back hurts. It's amazing what walking on this concrete will do. This is really cute, using the shutter here as a little accent. And I like that wall shelf for all the smalls. They do have a sale in this booth, 20% off on items over $50. They do ship in this booth. There are some pretty copper pieces. The one here on the bottom is $125. The copper pot on the top here is $350. There's a neat lightning rod back there. This is Margie's booth. She also owns Gleaner Antiques in Ashland, Ohio. And they have their Christmas open house in a couple weeks, if I remember right. I will make sure to do a video from there before their Christmas open house also. Margie will also this weekend be at the Earlier Times show. That's a really nice crossbuck table and a pretty green corner cupboard. Perfect for putting a smaller size Christmas tree on it. That looks very German. Great base for a TV also. They have $525 on that one. That wonderful old Santa. Neat glass cloche. That one is $56. Margie does ship also. This is Matt Urchman's booth. Lots of early primitives here. I don't remember which one of the shows that Matt also does, either Earlier Times or Simple Goods. I don't want to say wrong, but I know he's always at one of those. Really neat pieces. And you may notice here that the decorating is very simple. Just a little bit of greens here and there. Maybe a couple of feather trees. Well, this one's a little bit more with the lighting that are here in the shop. Let's see who this one is. This is Mike Christie's booth. Mike also does one of the shows. I am exhausted getting everything ready in my booth till the wee hours last night, and I just don't recall which of the two. But if you're going to go to one of the shows, you've got to go to both of the shows and our open house. Earlier Times and Simple Goods are only about 20 minutes apart. Maybe if the traffic is very heavy because of everything that's going on this upcoming weekend, maybe it's a half an hour, but that would be, on a rare occasion. Look at this collection of doorstops. These are amazing. Here's a lion, standing lion. Here's a Scotty dog. Oh my goodness. And I know Scotty dog collectors. They are extremely enthusiastic. There's a black and white iron Scotty dog doorstop in original paint. He's gorgeous. That one is $300. And then there are a couple of the Wolfhound doorstops, which I can't say that I've ever seen. Again, also in the original paint. This one is $325, and there's a larger one behind that is $350. Stunning, stunning pieces. This is a really neat folk art. 8 carved wooden birds. That one is $295. And I saw something up here that really had caught my eye. Look at that basket with the cane. Wow. What a neat gathering basket. And actually, even more than that, look at how they have it hung on that beam across the top with those large spikes going into it with those peg hooks into the ceiling. I mean, just clever ideas that you can get from how these dealers have learned over the years to display pieces. And then this piece also caught my eye. Look at all of those tomato and strawberry pincushions. But I don't think those are for sale individually. I think they come with the cupboard. So that is something that you would maybe have to check out when you're here. And Mike does ship. Here's a red door pantry cupboard with tin punched sides. That one is $7.95. Nice piece. This is Lorie Hollow's booth. She is just known for these large, dramatic, really exciting and unusual pieces. A whole set of the seaweed bowls that are amazing. And then here, a horse-drawn sled. That one is $2,200. What a great way to display. You know, if you're a photographer, how awesome would that be to have Christmas photos done in a sleigh? Here, a little set of the Christmas bells or the sleigh bells. That's only $139. And I know one of our family traditions when I was a child growing up, we always would open our gifts on Christmas Eve because that was the German tradition. And so we would sort of have to kind of pretend or take a nap, of course, while we waited for Santa to come. And sometimes the take a nap worked, and of course sometimes it didn't. But the clue or the key to us that it was okay and it was safe to come downstairs and that Santa had come and it was time was the ringing of some sleigh bells, and that was Santa, that he had come down the chimney and brought all of the surprises for us. So when I hear those, that is definitely a memory that always comes back for me. This is Diane Garner's booth. Diane does a lot of shows, not just in Ohio, but in other states as well. Diane does ship. So if you see something that you are interested in, I'm always happy to forward your messages to her. But neat pieces. She does also have antique shop sort of set up in her barn in Wakeman, Ohio. So when you have time to visit there as well, that is something that you may want to do. There's a nice rye basket there on the end with the butter paddles. Here's another booth that does have a bit of a discount right now for everyone for Christmas. They have 20% off of items that are over $50. Some of the nice double blue measure. And when they say double, when I put my hand inside here, it only goes about halfway. And that's because the other side, it's wider, and so the measure is from both sides, one side being smaller than the other. So kind of a fun little thing to be watching and looking for. And you know, I do see so many people going and getting really excited over the videos that talk about or show people going to estate sales and garage sales and auctions and things like that. And I want people to also, maybe some of that younger crowd that's doing the mid-century modern or the vintage pieces, to also be getting excited about this era in history as well. I know it's a little bit harder to find, but then when you do kind of hit a spot where there are lots of them, or lots of pieces, you know, don't pass it up. If you learn about it and know what it is that you're looking at and realize what the value is, I think that's sometimes that missing link, or the piece that's not there, is that there are a lot more pieces of information out and more in the public about pricing on the mid-century modern type things, maybe than there are on some of the country early antiques. So this is a cheese strainer in old red paint. That is $495. A cheese strainer. I didn't know that. That's an interesting thing. There's a fun tree. I think those are sometimes called, well, let me look and see. I think those kind of trees have a specific name, and I think I know, but I don't want to say wrong. I want to find another one that has the actual tag on it. Here is a vintage Arnett Santa, or a little bit older Arnett Santa. He does come with the horse, of course. It's all in one piece. That one is $225. That is their firm price. There's a nice set of early snowshoes back there, circa 1930. Those are $225. This booth, they do not ship. So if you see something here, find a friend that's in this part of Ohio to ship things for you, or you just need to do a road trip, which is always the number one choice of ways to pick up these items. Just a lot of baskets. Again, I've said before that those drying racks, and they have several of them here. In fact, there's a double. Those are a great way to change the look in a room or start your early American and prim look in a home. Maybe you don't have a lot of things to hang on it in the beginning that are antique. So use it to dry some herbs or some flowers on it. Here's another beautiful cloche. These make great, you can put scenes inside them, like little dioramas inside the cloche. Some baskets, a little bit of green here and there. It's subtle. That's just kind of the prim way, the antique way of doing the Christmas. It wasn't, over the top. It didn't need to be overwhelming, and they didn't have it. They used what was available to them right outside their door. I had just seen something here that caught my eye. Oh, that's a beautiful pitcher back there. Probably was part of a pitcher and bowl in a house at one point. There's a nice child size step back cabinet. That one's $145. That is really cute. If you have a large collection of smalls, those are a great way to display them. Neat piece. And then lots of the miniatures here. This this dealer, this vendor in this booth, she was was known for, and is known for, a lot of the miniatures that she would make. They were incredible. So lifelike. This is another really full booth. Again, you're going to have to take your time and look through this one. Lots of neat pieces, several handmade pieces. This is Heather Runyon's booth. Some of the long gourds back there in the corner I see. Those are $27.95, I think. She is not shipping currently. This is Jo Rose's booth. She also has 15% off on items over $50. Again, another very, very full booth. You're going to want to take your time and look closely here as well. So this next booth, this is Dean Hicks' booth. You will maybe, if you watch my videos where I'm going to estate sales, some estate sales, you may hear me say, "Hi, Dean." This is that Dean. Dean also, which I wouldn't be able to do. I don't know how he does it. He does also help at a particular estate sale company. I couldn't do it. I could not stand there and watch my most favorite items in an estate sale be sold to other people. And he's so sweet. He will tell you, "Yeah, go look in this room," or "It's in that room," or "Yeah, I wanted that too." But Dean has some beautiful pieces here. There's a nice sewing box down there in the bottom. Pretty piece. Always has some nice Christmas ornaments for the Christmas open house as well. Really neat piece or set of the skates. And a gorgeous, looks like fabric covered goose. Let's see what the description is on this one. Signed and dated 1935. He has 215 on that one. Really neat. Santa Claus on a box here, and then I saw a really early Santa here inside of the case. And that one even has on the bottom, "Made in West Germany." That's $4.50. He may be a candy container, I'm not sure. And then here's a Santa on skis. He is $85. This is Michelle's booth. That's a really pretty blue on that crate right here as you first come to the room. And the beautiful mantle. Love how this room is decorated. Wonderful accessories. Here's a set of skis on the corner. You know, I hear sometimes people will say, "Oh, it's just too expensive to decorate with antiques and primitives," but I will beg to differ. I think that there are ways to do this that, yes, you can be buying burl wooden bowls. Of course, that might be $400, $500, $1,000. Yeah, that's going to be top price. Or you can buy wooden bowls that are $20, $30, $40. You can buy coverlets that are signed and dated that might be $400 or $500 or $600 or $1,000 or $2,000. Or you can buy remnant pieces of coverlets. Maybe you get the corners that have the signed and dated portions in them. Maybe they're $65, $75, $85. There are baskets. There are crocks. Whether they have the blue decoration on them or not. We'll show you a booth here in a minute that has a lot of the crocks with the blue decorations on them. And some of them are German. Westerwald is the name of that style. The price, if they were American crocks with that blue amount of blue decoration on them, would be probably 10 times the price that they are as a German crock. Here's a nice, very nice quilt. I think that has the pomegranate design. And that one is $3.25. And then here is a really pretty crock. And Dean only has $1.25 on that one. It does say as is, so it must have a boo-boo somewhere, but this might be the tree that I was thinking had the marking on it that twig tree, but that's not what I was thinking of. Some bells and a feather tree. Here's some gourds. Santa Claus. Signed and dated gourd. That one is $35. More bowls, piece of tollware. These also 25% off. Nice checkerboard. Those are all fun items to have at Christmas time. Nice little Nantucket purse, basket purse up there. This booth they do ship. This one is $100. Nice little measure or little container there. Some unusual pieces here in this booth. I like that flax winder right there. Here is my booth. And I did a full video tour of this booth, so that one will be coming up as well before the Christmas open house. Here I did a little vignette here on the table with the gingerbread, the bowls, the little cutting board, some of the cookie cutters. There's a wonderful rooster cookie cutter. This rolling pin, actually it looks like tiger's eye, or not tiger's eye, bird's eye maple. Some Ginny Curry period clothing pieces. Those were originally priced at $2.50 and they are $75 a piece. Nice early blue paint sled. Some of the pinstriping is still on that. This gorgeous mirror with the sampler in the top. A couple of the shaker looking chairs. Beautiful trunk, hand painted. Not early, but just really beautifully well done. I was trying to find out who had done that and I just can't. And then those gorgeous trunks right there, just beautiful early pieces. Well, we'll go on up to the front of the shop. There's a candle drying rack, I think. They are using it for the baskets. And then look at all those greens. Love the red, long red socks. Just some really nice pieces to be mindful at estate sales and garage sales. If that's what you are going for, if those are places that you're at, maybe you're here watching this channel, this video, and you haven't been a collector. This one is $185, the ovoid with the strap handle. Now this is special because of the shape. Very special size and shape of a little redware jug. Pegged table, those are things to be looking for as well, the pegs. And then here are the style of those pottery, the German pitchers. You know, this one is priced at $35, this one's $20, this one's $20, this one is $35. There's another larger one down here below. If those were American-made pieces, you'd be close to 10 times that price. So, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is when people say, oh, that's just too expensive, I can't do it. Yeah, you can. There are variations in pricing of all different kinds of furniture stores too. You know, we can buy our furniture at stores where you have to follow the directions and put them together. Follow the instructions or follow the destructions, as some people sometimes say. Or you can go to super high-end furniture stores. So there are ways to do this without breaking the bank. I think the videos that we just recently did, both in the house and in the shop, from the Cluttered Coop is a perfect example of that. The pricing, her price points in her shop are so incredibly reasonable. The pieces are not necessarily museum type pieces of antiques, but that's not, they don't have to be. That's not necessarily the things that we want to live with. But she does it, and she does it well. And the images and the way the house feels, it's so comfortable, it's so cozy, it's organized, it's clean and neat and just lovely. And it's absolutely giving you that primitive and sort of historic feeling. And the neat thing about it is this style of decorating is timeless. And it's timeless because it's recreating a time that already was and is past. So you're not keeping up with the Joneses. You're not keeping up with what's the color of the year, which changes every year, and who paints their house or trim every year. I know I don't. But when you follow this sort of a style, you don't have to make those kinds of changes. There is no need. You know, maybe there are some simple differences or subtle differences from this style from 1976, when there was a huge resurgence in this, in a collection and collecting of this style. But that's probably, you know, things like the wallpaper, the Williamsburg blue paint color, you know, a few things like that. But the furniture pieces, the styles, my goodness, I wish I was collecting this back then. A few pieces here and there I did pick up with my babysitting money, like a very cherished checkerboard bought in Toronto, Canada, visiting family. But so many pieces passed up at estate sales and garage sales. And I just don't want that to happen to others. I want, you know, if you're able, find them now, pick them up now. Might there be trends? Yes and no. You know, the antique oak furniture, the tables and things, the very heavy pieces, those have kind of gone by the wayside, just don't have the popularity that they did. But for the most part, the accessory pieces, the painted pieces especially, are so, so special. This is Deborah Priest's booth. She is also at the shows. I want to say she does I think she's at the Simple Goods show. Love that. Peg rack up there, that painted peg rack. Yes, I'm sure she's at the Simple Goods show. So what was your favorite piece, or what did you start collecting, or if you're still with me at this point, I would love to hear. I do read all of your comments. I try to answer them all. This one is Mary Floyd's booth. Neat pieces here, and these gorgeous silhouettes. And an incredible painting. That portrait is wonderful. All right, well, I need to get home and get dinner made. And I am looking forward to seeing so many of you this upcoming Saturday and Sunday. Take care, everyone. We will see you very soon in the next video.